Because parents, I feel like, is always the most nerve-wracking. Like, aside from any other family, parents, it's
Well,
like,
and even just as a monogamous couple.
yeah,
Exactly.
That's scary
I've always
going
felt-
into
yeah.
meeting somebody's family. Like, it's just, there's a certain amount of pressure for some reason.
Yeah.
So in this case,
You want to make a good impression. You
Yeah.
want, them to tell your partner, like, hey, we really like this person. You just want to be liked. You want to be accepted.
yeah. So doing it as a throuple, like, that they already probably have their like preconceived like thoughts of what we are. So going into it like that, I'm sure was more nerve wracking.
And we're back.
And we are back.
Welcome back, campers. Gotcha.
I'm Megan.
I'm Alana,
Kevin.
and this is the Camp Throuple Podcast.
Yeah.
That it is.
I cannot get this little tune out of my head. I think y'all are with me. Because
Yeah.
we have been watching Lord of the Rings.
That's right. 'Tis the season.
It's the season.
What a great trilogy, huh?
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm kind of sad that we're going to be done with it after this one.
Well, we have the Hobbits next.
This is
is
true.
true.
But you
And
don't
then we
like the
have Harry
Hobbits
Potter.
as much.
The Hobbit, the first episode, I don't like that much. The second and third are better, but they're not the same as the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Are you supposed to watch The Lord of the Rings first and then The Hobbit? Or does it not matter?
I mean,
Technicality.
Because maybe we should have like did The Hobbit first and then we would have left with The Lord of the Rings in our mouth. I don't, the taste in our mouth? You know what I mean?
I don't know what you
Lord of
mean.
the
Please
Rings.
explain that.
I know what you mean.
Whatever.
I get what you're saying because technically speaking, and this is like Star Wars too, of how it was released, but The Hobbit in a
Chronologically.
chronological way is before the Lord of the Rings.
It's true. And
Gotcha.
it was written
'Cause
before,
Bilbo's
too.
young.
J.R.R. Tolkien wrote The Hobbit before he wrote
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
So interesting. Why do you
Nerds,
think they made,
bunch of nerds.
Bunch of nerds, dude.
Why do you think they made the choice to go Hobbit after Lord of the Rings? if
Probably
it was written
because
first?
The Lord of the Rings was a better
Yeah.
trilogy. Like, it was better than The Hobbit.
I
The
didn't.
story is better.
I didn't watch these movies every year until I got in a relationship with you guys. Now
Us
it's
nerds.
like that's just your guys' like tradition. Whenever it starts to get cold, you're like, all right, it's time.
Yeah, we kind of hibernate a little bit. We're doing Lord of the Rings and then Harry Potter. So
Yeah.
we're going to save Harry Potter more for the Christmas time, which you
Sure.
could go either way. You could do like Halloween time or Christmas time because there's Christmas in the movies. So,
But you know what? We're about to celebrate. It's Thanksgiving, baby.
The best holiday.
right.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble till you wobble. That's right.
I know it's Thanksgiving week.
I know.
Happy almost Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, guys. I'm super excited. I bought our turkey, which is like, it's like going and picking your Christmas tree or your pumpkin, but
Yeah.
it's turkey.
Yep,
Yep.
it is.
So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm excited to cook.
It is kind of tricky to get a turkey because you have to defrost it in a certain amount of time. And you have to like do a certain amount of poundage per person. That's way
Well, and I'm going to
complicated.
spatchcock.
You're a spatchcocker.
And spatchcocking and dry brining.
So explain to others what that means because I didn't know. I've never even heard of that term
Anyone
until.
who I tell you do that, they don't know.
Yeah.
So growing up, my mom would always just bake the turkey, normal, like I think you always see it. But a couple years ago, I saw a recipe to spatchcock it. I just like saying that. So basically, you cut out the bird's backbone, and then you flip it over and you break its breastbone. You got to kick the shit out of your turkey.
He's gone through some abuse.
So you do that and it lays flat. So when you cook it, it cooks evenly. Whereas the other shape, it cooks for a really long time. And normally by the time you're done, your breasts are dry.
Yeah.
And nobody likes dry breasts.
No, they
Right.
don't. They want some luscious, juicy breasts.
That's correct.
Some voluptuous breasts, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah.
All right.
So
That's how I like my breasts.
so that's how I make the turkey now. And I don't think I'll ever do it another way.
I don't think you should because it's the best turkey I've ever had.
Thank you so much.
And this is not to insult my mother because looking back, she worked so damn hard on Thanksgiving growing up. Like we would host it at our house because we were the only grandkids on her side of the family. And so she would cook like everything. And I now realize how much work that is, but she would just cook the turkey whole. And I didn't really like Thanksgiving growing up because
I know.
one, I didn't really like stuffing growing up. So that was just kind of like dry and like whatever. And then the turkey would sometimes be a little dry. Sorry, Mom.
So what was Thanksgiving like growing up for you?
I mean, it was my family doesn't watch football. Like I'm the only one, and that's because you got me into football, Kev. So we didn't have the games on, and it was just, our family would come over to our house and we would eat food and just kind of hang out. I think some years we would play board games, but it was really not like a super eventful holiday. It was just focused on eating, really. And
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that
at all.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I did not like Thanksgiving food growing up. Aside from the turkey and stuffing, my family does yams with like the marshmallows.
Candy yams.
And I
Yeah.
didn't like yams growing up.
Jeez,
I don't
you just,
really.
on Thanksgiving, you was full of hate.
Yeah.
I know.
What
it's
about
like
the
bah
ham
humbug.
with the pineapples and the cherries on top?
Oh, yeah.
I do love ham because we would do ham for Christmas.
Yeah, my mom would get the one in the can, like the canned ham.
Canned ham?
Canned ham.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
just a
even know
canned
that
ham.
I didn't know people canned ham.
Yeah, they do. You can
Okay.
you can ham.
Yes, you can. Sam, I am.
Yeah, and then it would like you put pineapple slices on top with like a cherry in the middle, and then you just cook it up.
That's just for decoration,
That's
though.
just for decoration.
So you would do that and
And a turkey.
turkey for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, like Thanksgiving was a big deal for me.
Right. So
growing
what
up.
was it like for you then?
It's like all the
Paint
family
us a
comes
picture.
over, like everyone's in the kitchen cooking together, like laughing. There's probably a lot of alcohol involved, honestly. The house I grew up on had this really cool back patio that had a fireplace outside. So everyone would like sit outside. The like kids would all like play, badminton, stuff like that in the yard. I'm sure there was football on, but I didn't even know about it back then.
Yeah.
So, but I really liked Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I like to eat.
Well, and you like to cook. I feel like that's probably where your love of cooking comes from.
Jules?
Cooking comes
Like
from.
watching my mom cook and stuff. Yeah. It made me, made me love it.
That's cool.
Yeah. What about you?
So Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I think it's probably because of how I grew up with my family's Thanksgiving. So my dad's the oldest of, I think it's 9 or 7. We also have friends of the family that we called uncles and aunts. So I sometimes include them in that count as well. But everybody had kids, and all the kids were around my age, either the same age, a year younger, a year older. And so let's just say my dad's the oldest of 9. Each of my uncles and aunts had like 2 to 3 to 4 kids, 2 to 4 kids.
Like, how many turkeys did you cook?
There was a lot of food.
Yeah.
Like there was a ton of food. So we would go to my grandparents' house down in Diamond Bar, and they had this weird setup of the house where the driveway's here, the house is back here, and then they had a lower level of grass, like a huge grass pad.
That's cool.
And then the grass connected to the basement. It was a 3-story house.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a really weird setup, but the kids would get together and we would play football, we would play soccer, we'd make up our own games. Like we had this game called Raptor where you would have kids holding onto a sheet, a big like sheet for a bed, some on one side, some on the other, and then kids would have to run across or through the sheet. You'd either have to break through, jump over, slide under. And sometimes like when somebody tried to jump over, we'd pull it tight and lift.
Like
and like
bounce
kids,
them?
we would do flips. No, not bounce. Like they would catch your leg and it'd flip you.
Yeah.
We would wrestle, we would box, we would do all kinds of stuff. So growing up, Thanksgiving was always a holiday I looked forward to. It's also my favorite layout of food. The spread on Thanksgiving is fantastic. So much so that for my birthday, that's what I asked for as a gift is, can you make me Thanksgiving
Which we've done before.
dinner?
This last year we
by we, I
didn't
mean
because we had guests in town.
Well, hold on. The reason we didn't, because his birthday was beginning of June. And we had people coming at the end of June, and we were like, oh, perfect. We'll have more people to eat the food, so we'll just wait and do it all together. And Kevin was like, cool, I'm good with that.
Yeah. So I was lied to and
They-
really let down. I didn't get anything for my birthday.
Well, once they came,
And it was quite a shame.
that's not true. You just didn't get Thanksgiving because once our
So
friends
you're right. The
came,
one thing I asked for, you're right. Yes, the one thing I asked for on my birthday.
once our friends came, we were like, it's going to take an entire day to cook. And
Oh, yeah.
like we wanted to go out with them and do stuff. So we were like, sorry.
So we hope you enjoyed this segment we like to call Excuses, where we just come up with BS of why we didn't feed Kevin his favorite
Well,
meal.
I'm just going to make the food extra good
There we go.
this year, all right?
I'm excited.
Which I do love spending Thanksgiving with you guys. I think we have fun no matter what we do normally.
Yeah.
But there is that like nostalgia and like a part of me, I feel like sometime that I'm like, oh, I kind of wish like we had,
The big gathering.
yeah, a big gathering, like whether it be with any of our families, just to have that feeling. You know what I mean?
Well, luckily, we are having our friends come out from California to have Thanksgiving with us. They did this
Yeah.
last year as well. And I think that makes it better than
For
just
sure.
us
Yeah.
because there's, we get to play host and
Yeah.
we
there's-
get to do
Like
stuff
play
still.
games
Yeah.
and yeah.
we have a turkey.
Settlers of Catan tournament. Yeah.
You guys, I got in a relationship with the biggest nerds.
Yeah, but
ever.
you are going to play with us. You're going to be in this tournament and you will help us get that trophy.
Okay.
Technically, we should already have the trophy.
I am the reigning
Chloe, I'm looking
champion.
at you.
Yeah. So
And I think, I mean, one year I had you guys come to my family for Thanksgiving, right? We went
Yes.
to my
Yeah.
sister's house.
Yeah.
'Cause my family's pretty accepting or completely accepting, actually, when it comes to our relationship.
So
Yeah.
your sister was there, your brother was there, mom, dad,
My
you had
niece.
some niece, but your nieces are older, so it's not like younger nieces.
Yeah.
They had kids, so their kids were there. And then was it one of your cousins too?
Maybe. I mean, there's a good
There's
amount
a
of
good
people
amount
there.
of people, yeah. And it was nice because, so at that time we were obviously living in California because that's where all our family is. And so we were outside.
Yeah.
You can't really do that in Colorado at this time, but we were outside. We had a nice setup and we also got to meet a lot of your family at that time because we had already met like your mom and siblings. But it
That
was
was your first time meeting your dad.
yeah, that's true.
Which, for context, you had painted this picture of your father of, he's really handyman, worked on his car a lot. He rides motorcycles, Harley Davidson,
Yeah, I'm like,
handlebar
oh, shit.
mustache, tough guy. So in my head, I'm like, all right, let's go meet Megan's pops. And when we met him, couldn't be more friendly.
Yeah.
He's
He
so
is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Big hugs.
I feel like he's tougher when I was younger. I think that happens with a lot of parents.
yeah.
Like your dad is like so sweet and funny, and like
Yeah.
you've also told stories of him being like a tough guy.
growing up. Yeah.
I think I think as parents, you probably just feel this responsibility of like, all right, don't allow my kid to grow up to be a piece of shit or go to prison.
Yeah.
Like, so you do whatever you can with the knowledge that you have to try and prevent that.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know? And then once your kid's off doing their own thing and they're fine,
You're like,
you're like, oh,
I
okay,
can
I can
relax.
chill. Like
Yeah.
now I get to hang out with him. Me and my dad, we talk almost every day. He's like my best friend now.
It's cute.
I feel like my parents, I don't know if it's just because I'm the youngest and because there's a 7-year age gap between me and my oldest sibling. And I was a happy accident.
Nice.
So they were not anticipating having me. They were in their late 30s, like getting close to 40. So by the time, like my brother, he's almost 3 years older than me. Like when he was allowed to do stuff, a lot of times I was allowed to do stuff because I think it was just like, all right,
Just less work to
Yeah.
allow you. Yeah.
we don't want to wait a couple more years for this. Like, you're good.
Yeah.
We're good. And they were already a little bit more lax and lenient. Not saying that, like, they were still tough on me at times, but I don't view them either as like total hard asses. And now they're like kick back, relaxed.
Yeah.
Going back to Thanksgiving at your parents' house, Alana, how did you feel before going? Because for you, Megan, you knew everybody. So obviously you grew up with them. And I want to get your feelings before we went there. Like, how'd you feel? Were you really nervous?
Yeah, I guess it was like the first time, like you said, you guys meeting all of my family all in one small space. Like we were all seated outside together
Yeah.
in a circle.
It was, I mean, luckily we had met your mom. We had met your sister. And they're both like total hippies, like very loving, accepting. And we had had great experiences with them before. So going into it with that already on the table, I felt actually a little bit more comfortable. Like I was nervous to meet your dad. Because parents, I feel like, is always the most nerve-wracking. Like aside from any other family, parents, it's
Well,
like,
and even just as a monogamous couple.
yeah,
Exactly.
That's scary
I've always
going
felt-
into
yeah.
meeting somebody's family. Like it's just, there's a certain amount of pressure for some reason.
yeah.
So in this case,
You don't make a good impression. You
Yeah.
want, them to tell your partner like, "Hey, we really like this person." You just want to be liked. You want to be accepted.
yeah. So doing it as a throuple, like, that they already probably have their like preconceived like thoughts of what we are. So going into it like that, I'm sure was more nerve wracking.
A little bit, because in any case with this relationship, aside from just family, but people in general, there's a lot of questions that people want to know with this relationship. And so when you're meeting people, you're also getting asked a lot of different questions, because I've had experiences like with Kev meeting your family. It's more about getting to know you as an individual, I think.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, what do you do for work? What's your family like? It's more about you. But I think with being in this type of relationship, there were a lot more questions directed at all of us of like how this relationship works. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's bad, because I think that still was people trying to understand and still trying to get to know us. It's not like there weren't questions about us individually, but there were a lot about our relationship and just the functionality the questions that we get all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's something for any new throuples out there who maybe this is your first holiday season together. Be prepared for that, and just
Lots of questions.
and like I said, just take it as people trying to understand, because they could totally just shut you off and not really try to get to know you, and that's the worst case. But them asking questions, even if it feels a little more intimate, just because it's about your relationship type, I think it is just people trying to understand, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
How'd you feel?
I think you nailed it with that. That was one of the items I wanted to touch on too, was when you do meet somebody else's parents, especially during a holiday event where there's a lot of people, it is more directed at you. Oh, so you might break the ice with like, how did you meet? Or, I don't know, what have you guys been up to lately? But it's so much more, or it's much more uncommon talking to anybody in this kind of relationship. So I think just the human mind with curiosity, people want to know, like, hey, well, how long were you and Kevin together before you met Megan? How it was more of questions, like you said, directed as like a unit or rather than individual. But I mean, yeah, like you said, I think that's to be expected. So but beforehand, I wasn't really nervous because we had met your mom and your sister.
So you probably got like a vibe of
I had
the
an
family,
idea.
kind of.
Right. If I hadn't met either of them and I just kind of went right into the deep end, I definitely would have felt nerves. But I was a little, I was excited to meet your brother. I was excited to meet your dad, just because they're males and I've met females in your family. So a male might be like, what's up with you, pervert? Like, or you like a leader of a cult, or
What are you doing with my sister?
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of bracing for that. And I mean, couldn't be more off.
Yeah.
Because they were just super chill, super cool, and didn't make it awkward at all. But yeah, it was great. It was cool. Your family is very welcoming, very loving, and it was a great experience.
Yeah. You do come from a very female dominant family. And then Kev, you come from a very male dominant family. Like you just have mostly males in your family. Like, like how many female cousins do you even have?
On my dad's side, I think I have 4 females. And then I think there's like 20 male cousins.
Yeah.
And then there's only 2 aunts that are blood. And then the rest, the 7 or 5, whether it's 7 or 9, I can't count right now. They're all male.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny thinking about that and then what you guys explained of your childhood Thanksgivings of like, you're supposed to be cooking and in the kitchen. And then it's just
laughter. You're
let's
like, we're
play football
wrestling.
and wrestle.
Well, yeah, like growing up, we would have our dads like, okay, you're gonna fight him, you're gonna fight him next, and then go. And they would like put us in like they'd like put it like in a ring almost, and be like, go,
wild.
get him, take him down, like grab him, punch
so
him in
funny.
the face.
You
So
guys were the entertainment for the day.
yeah, they were all betting, throwing dollars at us, and
gladiators.
stuff, trying to inspire us.
Yeah.
So very different upbringing there.
Yeah.
Which we've, experienced in our relationship with the differences of how we
female-male
were
energy.
raised. Yeah, the masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah.
Of like, wait, what are you talking about? I'm not upset. And you're like, you were just yelling.
You're like,
I
no,
wasn't yelling. I was
like, I'm just getting
Just have
to
a
a
loud
point.
voice.
I'm
yeah.
like, no, I'm pretty sure you're mad.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the reverse though, your family's like, welcome, like, hey, it's so great to meet you. My family's like, how you doing? Keep it moving. Like, you're in the way. Let's get some food.
Yeah. Like, I feel like we're just like more silly. Like, I don't know, we're all just seem a little stoned. We probably are, actually.
I was going to say, well,
Yeah.
there might be some of that involved.
But yeah, I am excited for this Thanksgiving with us and our friends, obviously. It's cool. It's cool that we moved to another state and now we're in a house. Like, I love this
Yeah.
kitchen for cooking. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited to host here.
We have an actual dining table this year.
We do.
Last year, we had a fold-up table.
That's right.
Tried to make it look as nice as possible, but we have an official dining table. It's going to be a real-life Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for what we've built and
Been very fortunate. Yeah.
absolutely.
What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful that our friends are making the trip on the most trafficked or busiest holiday. Yeah, what's that word?
The most traveled?
Traveled.
The most traveled holiday in the U.S.
Yeah.
To come out here, hang out with us, and then lose in Catan again.
Catan.
Catan. I think it is actually Catan.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, it feels more proper to say Catan.
Catan. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very grateful for Mason and Chloe that they're making the trip out here and just to show them around Colorado, because the last year when they came, we had a storm during Thanksgiving
Big storm.
and we weren't able to leave.
Yeah.
So being able to show them Boulder and some of the mountains in Denver, I think is going to be really fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
some tubing in.
Yeah, we're gonna do. I've never done tubing,
I haven't
so
either.
that's gonna be fun.
I hope they want to because we're doing it.
Yeah.
That's decided.
What about you?
What are you grateful for?
Well, first of all, I feel like both of yours kind of involved our friends coming out, which I'm also very grateful for that because, we could have moved out to Colorado and just no one want to come because they've got their own thing going on. So I'm grateful for that. What am I not grateful for? I feel like we are really
I'm sorry, Alana.
I'm grateful for the two of you.
Right back
that
at you.
I have you in my life, that I get to be in a relationship with you, that you guys are my best friends, get to do this podcast with you. I'm grateful that we have a roof over our heads.
Yeah.
Because some people do not, and we're very fortunate to have that.
For sure.
I'm grateful for Camper, our little puppy, because I love him so much,
Yeah,
even
you do.
though he can get moody sometimes. That's okay. He's an adolescent dog,
Yeah.
He's grown up. And I'm grateful to have a job. This is just Alana's podcast now. This is where I talk about all the things I'm very happy I have.
Hey, it's good that you're grateful for all those
It's
things.
true.
I think it's very good to practice being grateful.
Well, yeah, they say that, each day you should say 3 things that you're grateful for. I just said 4, but, 3
Oh, no, yeah.
who's counting, But I think that's supposed to set you in a more positive mindset for each day.
That makes
And
sense.
I've done a poor job of really stopping and taking the time each morning. But I think maybe we should get into doing that.
Maybe.
Really just ground ourselves and think about what we're grateful for. Because sometimes it's very almost mundane things, or it seems like that. But I think even getting to the smallest things that you're grateful for and then like the overall bigger things, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really, really good, babes.
Anyone else?
You're right.
It's
You're
so
right.
Sick
good.
of hearing me talk.
It's so good.
Yeah, if you guys have anything that you're grateful for right now while watching this, drop it in the comments so we can hear it.
I'd just like to add another one.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm grateful for all of you for watching and listening and
Subscribing.
Just subscribing.
Bam.
Yeah, and supporting us so we can continue to do this and we can continue to hang out and have fun because I enjoy doing this podcast with you guys.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching. We appreciate you. Yeah. Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble, till you wobble. Watch some football.
Yeah.
What Thanksgiving dish are you most excited for? Like, what's your top Thanksgiving?
Stuffing.
Really?
Oh my God, I love stuffing so much. With cranberry sauce. I have to put the cranberry sauce in the can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you go all out. Like, you make your own stuffing. One, we're going to do it
Absolutely.
even different this year because I baked a loaf of sourdough for
true.
the stuffing. So we're
true.
going to cut that up, let it dry out. And then you make like a turkey stock and you put that on there.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fancy. But yeah, if I had to like pick one thing on my plate and that's all I could have, it would be the stuffing with the cranberry sauce on top. What about you? One. You get one. You can't.
No, I mix it all, so that's
I know,
one.
you're wild.
You mix all your food up.
Yeah, I like the gravy with the turkey, with the stuffing. I don't mix the cranberry in it.
That
I
goes on
keep that
top.
on the side.
Yeah.
Not on top. It goes on the side.
Okay.
Listen, don't tell me how to eat my
Well,
food,
wait,
all right?
when does it go on the top?
It never
Each-
goes
each
on the
bite,
top.
But how do you eat your cranberry sauce?
On its own.
You just eat cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
It's a wild man.
You know what it is for me, and you guys know
watched
this about
it
me.
enough.
I don't like mixing different temperature
and
of foods. Like even Pazookies, I'm not.
You're not a huge fan.
No, or when people are like, "Oh, you want a thing of ice cream on top of that?" I'm like, "Please, please don't, don't try and mix these temperatures of foods. Right? Either have it hot or cold. Don't give me hot and cold at the same time." So yeah, I like to eat I keep my cranberry
To
sauce
itself.
to itself
Okay.
after I eat everything.
Okay. That's fine.
You know,
That's fine. It's a little
Yeah.
dessert. It's like a
It
reward.
is. It's like a reward. Exactly. Exactly.
All right, Alana, what about you?
Well, this is a new one, and it's not technically a traditional Thanksgiving dish, but it is for us, is your truffle mushroom mac and cheese. Yeah. It's one of the best things I've ever tasted in my life.
You're so sweet, babe.
And I'm so happy that you haven't just made it for Thanksgiving, you've made it a couple other times.
Oh, yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Alana's trying to, I don't know if you see all the brown on her nose, but she's just trying to continuously kiss Megan's ass. She said the spatchcock turkey was one of the best foods she's ever had, too.
Maybe
So-
it
said
is.
one of.
Maybe it is.
But the mac and cheese is number one. It is up there. The spatchcock turkey is right below. But the freaking, that mac and cheese, one of the best
fire.
things I've ever tasted.
But again, I think all of it together is just where it's at.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's the combination,
Yeah.
right?
Take it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Well, let's get going.
let's do it.
Let's
It's
get
not
going.
Thanksgiving yet, but everyone have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, leave us some stuff in the comments.
Some stuffings in the comments.
Stuffings
Let
in
us
the
know.
comments.
Let us know your favorite
know.
holiday tradition,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving tradition.
Or yeah, like if you eat something weird for Thanksgiving. Not
Ooh,
all
yeah.
people do turkey.
Yeah, I would like to
That's
introduce
true.
something like novel to my Thanksgiving
could do that.
feast where it's, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like candied yams, I don't know who first created that. Like, what if we put some marshmallows on top of that? You're
Yeah.
like, get the,
Are you out of your mind?
yeah. But it ends up tasting great, you know? So if you have something that you're like, all right, this isn't popular or this isn't something most people do on Thanksgiving, but my family has done blah, blah, blah.
Maybe we'll even rotate it into our meal if you leave a comment with something that sounds cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be. So let us know. Let us know what you're grateful for and just have a wonderful
Have a great
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
It's time to go.
All right. Talk
Bye,
to you later.
Sal. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.